What's up, guys? Today we're going to be making a modal in React. So all I've got here is an React app I created with Vite, and all I've done is deleted the boilerplate JSX that it comes with and most of the CSS that it comes with, and as well as the app.css file. This is all the CSS that's in the project now. So yeah, so we're gonna be making a modal, just a simple modal. I'll probably at the end add a button to toggle it on and off, but for now let's just go ahead and get into this. So I'm gonna make a div, and in this div I'm just gonna write maybe an h1 that says modal, and we're gonna give this div a class of modal, and in the CSS gonna give it some color just so we can see where it is. All right, so modal, got a few colors on over here. Background color, gonna make this color called Space Cadet 273043. Gonna give it a color of EFF6EE, and we're gonna give our app a background color of, actually it's already there, EFF6EE. All right, so now we're gonna give this some padding, 30 pixels. We're gonna give it a max width of 400 pixels, max height. Actually, let's just make these max or regular height and width. Actually, max width 100% and height 400 pixels. 300 pixels, I don't like the square. All right, so now border radius 5 pixels, 10 pixels, looks a little better. All right, now box shadow, subtle, let's do 2 pixels, 2 pixels, 5 pixels, and then the same color as our modal, but a little lighter, 273043. Then just bring down the opaqueness to about 20%. Yeah, looks okay. I know this isn't important. Okay, so now we're gonna center the modal, the big one. So you're gonna use this transform property, whatever, and then translate function. And here it takes 2 arguments, 2 parameters. One is the x and one is the y. So you're gonna do 50% minus negative 50%, then another negative 50%, and this is gonna put it off the screen, and then you need to counteract that with first, for this to work, you need to give this a position of absolute. And for that to work, for position absolute to do anything, you need to give what it's sitting on, in this case, this app div, a position of relative. So let's do that. All right, so now you can counteract the transform translate negative 50% with top 50%. So that centers it vertically, and then horizontally do left 50%. So now it's in the dead center, no matter where your window is. So yeah, that is how you position a modal. Let's make a button that toggles it, toggle modal. And for this, we're going to need the useState hook from React to have some form of state that keeps track of whether it's toggled or not. We're going to call this modal toggled and set modal toggled, and it's equal to useState, and the default value for useState is, in this case, is false. And we can do this one of two ways. We can add some sort of class to add a class whether or not it's toggled or not. In this case, I might show both, but in this case, we're going to wrap this modal div with curly braces and conditionally render it based on if modal toggled is true. So we're going to write modal toggled. This is kind of this is basically saying if modal toggled is true, then render this. I'm going to format it, adds a few things, just some formatting stuff. So right now, that will not show, but we have this button here, and we're going to make a function, handle modal toggle click, and this is going to set modal toggled to true. And this function is going to, since we're going to pass it directly into the onClick of button, like this, since we're doing this function takes an argument of E, or event, so the click event, whatever event you've got, it'll be that event that gets passed into here. We're not going to use it in this case, but you can write like e.prevent.default. There's a lot of properties on that event object. So clicking this should turn it on, but we probably want to, most modals have, let's just write a button in here that closes it instead. Close modal and set that equal to the same, and it's just going to be, we're going to change this true to whatever the opposite of the current state of modal toggled is. So modal toggled, whatever it's not. So this little exclamation point mark is going to be the opposite of what it is. So when it's closed, turns on. When it's open, or when it's toggled, close. You get it. Okay, so now we're going to make it detect if you click outside of the modal. Not every modal will have this, but a lot of them will, if it's more of an optional modal. So to do this, we're going to grab the useRef hook from React, and this is so you can create a reference to the DOM document object. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a ref modal. We're going to call it modal ref, set it equal to useRef, and just default value is null. And for this to have a value, you need to set whatever you're trying to reference to this. So we're going to write modal ref. Every element in React has a ref attribute, and to give this useRef result a value, you set the ref equal to it. This isn't a video about that, but this is probably what you'll want to do if you have a modal. So I'm showing you anyways. So what you're going to do is you're going to use another hook called useEffect, which handles side effects in React and also the onMount and on, I don't know what the technical term of it is, but on like the dismount of the component as well. So how you use this is you write useEffect, that's a function in itself, and then it accepts a callback function, and the second parameter is a dependency array, which we will not be using, but by default it pretty much, not by default, but what you'll usually want to add is this empty array so it doesn't do an infinite loop when state changes. But so what we're going to do here is when you click outside of the modal, it will close the modal for you. That's basically the goal of what we're doing now. So first we're going to make a function, just call it handler, pass in the event. Going to keep this empty for now so I can make it clear of what's going on. And we're going to add to the window object an event listener, and that event listener is going to be a click event. So click, and then we're going to pass in the handler function. Okay. And just FYI, this is the same as me writing, like me passing in this handler function is the same as me writing function console, whatever, do whatever you want. This is an anonymous function. This is a named function. But anyways, let's write handler because it's already there. And the next thing we're going to do is something called a cleanup, which is you can use the return of a useEffect, which basically looks for the unmounting of a component. But what we're going to do is return an arrow function and actually remove the event listener. It has to be, for this to work, you have to pass in the same function every time. So what we're going to do here is first we're going to check if the ref is actually connected to something. So how you do that is if there's a current, modal ref. So there's a property on our ref called current, which is the element itself. So first you want to check if that is actually there, if that exists. And if it is, you want to check the event dot target if event dot target dot class list, which it kind of gives you an array of the classes of the element. If it does not contain, and right now it's if it does contain, but if it does not, adding this exclamation point, so if it does not contain the modal string, modal class, I'm sorry, then we're going to set the modal toggled to false. So let's see if this works right away. So since we have this button here, we need to also check if the event is the button. So let's add a class here. Let's just call it toggle button. Or and, not or. And does not contain toggle button. So toggle button turns it on, and I can click anywhere else to turn it off. Clicking over here. But if I click inside the modal, it does not turn off. So yeah, I could spend more time and make this look pretty and everything like that, but I think you get the picture. This has been how to make a modal. I know it's pretty simple in the scheme of things, but let me know if it helped you. Let me know if you have any other videos you want me to do. I'm trying to get into uploading more. and this camera thing is weird to me, so forgive me if I've been awkward. But yeah, thank you guys. Peace.